it's Joy and we're watching Star Wars Rebels Season 3, Episode 22, 0 Hour Part 2. I am so stressed about this. I have not... It's been like 2 weeks since I've last watched Rebels because I had a mix up with my medication, so my head was not in a good space to react. And yeah, now I'm freaking stressed. So much time has happened and I was like bad enough and it was a week I had to wait. So it is the big Season 3 finale. There is one season left after this. I'm stressed, I'm excited. But a reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon 2 weeks in advance and the edited version 1 week in advance. And let's go.
Alright, Thrawn. Your move.
We're as ready as we can be.
Let's test their mettle. Commence the attack.
Could you actually just wait a moment? Kanan's just still travelling. Thanks. Oh my god. He almost would have been better going away from the base. He did not find cover. He quite specifically did not find cover.
Cease fire.
Why did he stop?
I'm getting the feeling Thrawn's actually trying to kill us this time.
Oh, that is only funny because you're still alive. Now, please, come home, love.
What's going on? Why are you here?
I know you had plans, but we need you.
Escaped? There must be something we
Sabine will, of course, wants to
risked
help.
everything to get here. At least hear me out.
I mean, if you can help the rebellion and you're technically fighting the Empire, the rebellion may help you.
Governor,
Me to have these rebels pull a victory from certain defeat.
you and I are not the same, Gallus.
I mean, Kenny,
These rebels are about to learn.
he is right. But at the same time, you are underestimating these rebels. Because you think you're the best. You underestimate everybody.
A shield
I have
generator's
to
taking
believe.
a beating.
If no is your final answer, then we'll go back alone. Goodbye, Sabine.
Sabine isn't saying no. It is a complicated situation.
You're not going alone. I'm going with you.
Oh.
I appreciate the loyalty you have for your friend, Sabine, but this mission is
I
impossible.
like that he's got Sabine
I never
paint
thought that I
now.
would be standing here with all of you. If Ezra thinks we can make a difference,
Yes.
Restored my daughter to me, and that is a debt worth repaying.
Thank you.
Leave ourselves.
maybe we don't need an army.
Yes, Sabine. Okay. I love her. I love just how loyal this family is. Is he actually going to approach from the expected avenue? Thrawn is... No, I mean, he's willingly sacrificing this. Yep. This is bad. This is everything and wonderful, and I'm so happy.
Bobby, follow me.
Like, if I tell them I'm happy, maybe they'll reverse it. Jesus Christ. Brave souls. It's cool, but everything seems absolutely hopeless. That's when we get hope.
Glad you could join us. Hera said you're bringing help.
Maybe.
No.
Maybe not. Here they come.
Chopper base. You were a little bit spider-riddled, but we loved you.
It's gonna be on the coast.
Oh, if I go out, it's gonna be on the coast. You're not going anywhere. Other than to safety.
Rebel reinforcements.
Mandalorian by the look of them.
Yep.
Sabine Wren.
Yes.
Send fighters to intercept, and move
No.
capital ships to reinforce them. Kanan, you made it. What happened with your friend?
Oh, don't worry. I think he's coming.
Phoenix Leader, do you read me?
Is he gonna attack everybody, or...
Taking out the interdictor.
Looks like the family's together again.
Let's try and keep it that way.
Oh god.
There goes our shield.
How many lives were just lost? Oh my god.
Or you will watch your friends perish, one by one, beginning with the Jedi.
Fucking hell. It's fine, because he's about to... He doesn't think there are troops up there that can destroy his ship.
You already know my answer.
Is he just mad at everyone?
Something.
What Jedi devilry is this?
I mean, you could... Is he bringing death to both sides or to one side? Thrawn running. Oh, my loves. They're just so brave. It makes me emotional.
Hey, I don't have a jetpack.
You have those little thrusters.
We will not lose to this rabble.
That is definitely the answer. Just say, stop them. Thrawn. Look it up.
This is your friend?
Not anymore.
Might have made him angry.
Like, so we're trying to leave.
Concentrate fire on the center of the storm.
Thrawn, your actual enemy is fleeing right now. Bendu.
Working on it.
Quite literally. This is such beautiful teamwork. Okay. I was freaking out endlessly. What actually just caused that explosion? It's what they were doing, right? Yes. Good, 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 good. His little thrusters. It's her!
Chopper, get us out of here.
Governor, we have a problem.
I don't want to hear it. Just stop them. Nothing gets through.
Yes, that's brilliant tactics.
Making a mess of his fleet.
Is he going to be able to take out two of them?
It's Callus. He's sending coordinates.
There's an escape pod on my scope.
How the tides have turned now. He's he's relying on them to come for him, and they are coming.
Got him.
Yep, and he's relieved the rebels have him. How far we have come, my dear Ken. I mean, Thrawn also mucked up. I know that it was Bendu he couldn't have accounted for, but like, he should have done if he's the almighty Thrawn. We've taken some heavy casualties, but we have turned what looked like an assured defeat into an escape, which is a victory in my books. We'll miss you, Chopper Base. I am worried about Bendu.
I see your defeat, like many arms surrounding you in a cold embrace.
Yeah, you can't defeat Bendu. And he'll hate that. A creature he cannot understand would really drive him insane. But I want him insane.
Kanan, thank you
Yep.
for taking me in.
Thank you for risking.
Ken came so far. Yep. We took a heavy blow, but we survived.
We lost everything.
Not
I
everything.
understand you feel defeated. There's a future for us, one where we're all free. But it's up to us to make it happen.
And you're doing that, my loves. Okay, so this was an excellent, satisfying conclusion to both the season and the two-parter. Thrawn's plan, finally, you know, finding the base, attacking it with everything he's got, and yes, definitely I think Thrawn's biggest weakness is also one of his best strengths, which is the fact that he is so intelligent, so cunning, so strategic, the fact that he has these elaborate plans and he plans everything out. But in the real world, you can't know every single detail. You can't account for everything. And spur of the moment, your enemy might do something completely out of character, or there might be a random mythical creature called Bendu who shows up and just attacks everybody with lightning. You can't account for literally everything, which is kind of Thrawn's weakness. I think also it's kind of that belief that because he is such a brilliant strategist, he believes he is just better than everybody else, and that kind of does then lead to him to kind of, when it's time to ultimately launch his plan, he's kind of like, well, my plan's already succeeded, so I'm just gonna do this thing, it's easy. Rather than kind of being that little bit, having that step more caution in his mind, which I do think played a part in their survival here. Obviously Bendu played a huge part, and there was no real way he could have accounted for Bendu, but regardless, you know, we took out their destroyer, even if he might have, without Bendu, captured Kanan and Hera and like a core bunch of the rebels, which would have been far more of a victory for him. Some of the ships would have escaped, and then, you know, who knows what would have happened with Ezra and the ships in the sky. Would they have tried to like come down, ignoring the big ships? Like, it would have changed, the battle would have carried on, and it wouldn't have been quite as clear cut as he thought it would have been. As always, it is very fun to see the Empire get embarrassed. You know, this was an easy victory, and the point they had the rebels at, they should have just easily won. And both Thrawn was left looking like an idiot, with dealing with a creature that he both cannot understand and that told him victory is surrounding him. And victory is surrounding him, defeat is surrounding him, and it's beautiful. The Governor, I don't think, is long for her role, because she's failed pretty epically. I loved seeing, you know, I'm sure when they arrived and, you know, Sabine would have understood, like, oh, we're in the middle of this civil war, we actually really need our troops. They were looking at some kind of building plan, like they were about to plan a mission. But at the same time, you know, the minute she found out her other family were in trouble, Sabine was like, well, I'm going, you know, and she brought as much help as she could. I think, yes, it's completely reasonable that the Han Ren can't just send all of their troops, because that could wipe them out, that could end their war, in the same way that the rebels can't now send all of the rebels to go and help them. But it is very much kind of they helped them with Sabine coming back, with freeing them from Gus Saxon, and now they're able to kind of return the favour. I think it's gonna make for a very interesting season 4, because given that Sabine is one of our core characters, I hope we will follow her. I still do not know Mandalore exists and is populated right now by the Mandalorian. It is no longer. I don't know whether season 4 has those events or whether they are outside of what's been filmed, but regardless, a lot is going to happen there, I'm sure. But seeing Sabine both confident within her own family, being able to, you know, the fact that she's back with her birth family, that she is with her mother and her brother has a little, like, Sabine artwork on his shoulder, she's leading Ren troops. I just feel like she is whole again in so many ways. You know, yes, she still does things her own way in a sense. Yes, she's not completely rigidly bound to the exact way that Mandalorians are supposed to do things, but she still follows the Mandalorian code. But she has her other I think Sabine is whole again, and I'm so happy for her. Very stressed with what's going to come in general with Mandalore, but happy for Sabine right now. And then the whole group, you know, I think one of the things that makes teams like this, you know, teams that bicker and they fight, and, you know, you have Chopper, who I have an extremely large soft spot for, as you know, who is a chaos gremlin that runs around being a chaos gremlin 89.99% of the time. I don't even know. The fact that when it came to this battle, when things were serious, obviously they knuckled down to it, but they are such an efficient team. They trust each other, they listen to each other. There's no, you gave me the order, what if I want to give the order, that there is on the, like, the nonsense that they have normally. But they were just such an efficient unit, a unit that cares so deeply for each other. They trust each other, and I just love that kind of found family trope. I love that bond, and I loved seeing it in action here. I love the way we managed to defeat Thrawn, and, you know, yes, it wasn't really a victory for either side, and it wasn't a full defeat for either side. You know, Thrawn can at least say, well, I crippled them, they lost their base of operations, and we took down loads of their ships. And, you know, every time the rebels lose a ship, that is a huge deal, because they do not have factories churning them out like the Empire does. But it was what should have been a surefire victory for the Empire has now fallen into complete defeat. And they don't even have, like, an asset like Fulcrum. When Thrawn knew about him, he was a potential asset, because Thrawn could have been like, oh yes, well, you know, it's a good job the rebels don't know we're building that super secret stealth star destroyer on planet X. And then Fulcrum would have been like, oh my god, guys, you gotta go to planet X. You know, there were other uses he could have had for Fulcrum beyond this specific episode. But he thought he was reaching his end game, so he kind of used all of his current leads. Now, Thrawn's not dead. Thrawn may get a little bit in trouble with his superiors, I don't know, but I still think he's such an effective person. He's driven the rebels from their base, he's crippled them to a degree. He probably is not going to be totally removed from power, and we'll have to deal with him again. But for the rebels, that could have been the end of Phoenix Squadron, at the very least. They could have been wiped out. But instead, they're alive, they have ships, they have their manpower, they saved so many lives, so it's not a total defeat either, and there is victory we can see there, and there is still that hope for the future, because yet again we turned something that looked like it had no hope and we gave it hope. So this was a very, very good episode, as always, a brilliant ending to the brilliant season, also season 3. I am stressed about season 4 because it's just, the show's just got better and better and better. Reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon 2 weeks in advance, the edited version 1 week in advance, and thank you so much for watching.